First of all, ChatGPT, terrible name.
So let's just get right into sex robots. Frank, how would you feel if you came home and sex robot was raw dogging your girl?
I think Terminator's worst case, Ontario.
Well, honestly, for sex, I would just have like people just helping me to do shit. You know, carry me around, like, you know, it's
carry me around.
You know, it's just
one thing I know if there are sex robots is the power bill is gonna go up, baby.
Yeah, my computer's slower and half the keyboard doesn't work anymore. The keys are all stuck.
Oh my god, my life is so hard as a music producer. I hate all this clicking.
Well, no, but I just, you know, creatively, I do know that there's ideas left behind.
That neural shit will be crazy.
Yes.
I want that so bad.
Same as AI takes from everywhere and builds its own thing. It can inspire by things. It's about being authentic to who you are.
Because you got, like, the people creating it, you know, I'm sure have our best interests in mind. They're not just like,
for sure.
Really, just make AI, just this entire
Please, Jeff Bezos, come on.
Get
me a sex robot tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to the sex robots. Now,
everything comes back to this. All right, I just gotta ask Tommy a quick question. So if you boof a beer, does it still count or no? Is that?
We'll find out Saturday. But then if Big Daddy Elon makes this awesome sweet robot that can carry me around all day and take care of me when I'm older, kids, like...
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, baby. Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the Yeah Baby podcast, where we are a bunch of music producers who have no idea what we're talking about, but we're going to give you our opinions on stupid things. We're going to be talking about the good parts of AI, the bad parts of AI, sex robots, how to get good feedback on your music, where to get good feedback on your music, and hilarious stories from us being on tour with champagne showers. We have Frank from Monkey Twerk. We have Paul from Control Room. Woo! And my name is Thomas Anthony, and we have some funny, ridiculous things that we want to talk about today.
When you say funny and ridiculous, that's real right there. Ridiculous is definitely the word. Dude, Adriana and I went to London for New Year's. We went to visit some friends over there, JJ and Juan and Prish, and Roberto. You met him in Malta, Tommy. We went last summer to Defected Malta. Tommy joined us, and then the year before we went to Croatia with the same crew with those guys. So we went to do Defected New Year's in London, and it was a massive party, man. It was ridiculous good. It was ridiculous good. It was this building called Printworks. Apparently, it's been open as a music venue for like Printwork. 5 years. Yeah,
you were there?
Sick. Oh my God. So this is the last year that they did that because they're closing the building finally this summer. They're going to build something else new. But first of all, well, the whole show is just so well organized. So everything is pretty sweet. But this venue is gigantic. It was a print shop, like a massive print shop out of London. Ridiculous, gigantic. Very underground feeling, and they had two stages, one very, very underground, and then the other one, the main one, is this just huge hall, just gigantic hall with a balcony around, and then it was just packed. I don't even know how big is this, like, I don't know, a kilometer worth of people dancing, and the laser, so since it's just so long, there's people around, but the width of the stage really is not too long, so they have this huge, amazing laser show just going over the crowd. Ridiculous good. And then the party was amazing. We saw oh man, it was, and then all the glitter box dancers just fucking going there, a bunch of sexy babes of all kinds. It was ridiculous. It was too awesome. We saw a few different artists. I love seeing Prunk. Prunk was also in Malta. You guys need to listen to Prunk. Prunk. What a show. So it was good. It was, it's a good party. It's a good party. Just London, loving it, getting to know the place, partying with the homies, with awesome music. Yeah, it's a great way to start the year.
It's like you came back looking like a little sexy little paper boy too.
Yeah, right. I got my UK bloke kind of thing, going on. And then
If
I
I was
wore
a
like,
rich man, la 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 la.
first time we go to London, we arrive, we go see the Buckingham Palace, had to do it, see my babe's house, although she's dead now. I used to tell my wife that my hall pass. Well, she asked me what my hall pass was, and I always said that it was the Queen Elizabeth. So, it was definitely sad to know that she died. So we had to go see it. And then in front of the palace, they had this shop and they had these hats. I'm like, well, babe, look, this is gonna make me look like I'm from around here, like no problem. And then I bought the hat, super awesome. But then nobody else around London wears these fucking hats. I definitely look like a fucking tourist all around. But
Really?
it suits me. Yeah, it was very weird. It was just me, the tourist.
You kind of look like you're about to eat a baguette or something.
Like Peaky Blinders. No, the baguette.
Like I just
Like,
picture
if
you
I
with
do
your
this, I would like
Yeah, there you
some
go.
baguettes right there.
turn it all the way around and you'll turn into Samuel Jackson.
Like this is like going
It's a
to
motherfucking steaks on a motherfucking blade.
But this is just like a Peaky Blinders style, like
Peaky Blinders, that's the style. Yeah, that's what it is.
So
I can
it's
also
good,
picture you. I can picture you with your hall pass, and you're just sitting in Buckingham Palace with like a crown on, like Dave Chappelle. Be like calling the queen. Be like, "Hey, boo, can you pick me up in the Bentley today? Oh yeah, I need to go get
Tell
some
the
baguettes."
queen. Tell the Queen Frank's here. So yeah, no, that was great. That was awesome trip to make and awesome party to be at. Very, very inspired for this year for sure from that whole trip and that gigantic party. Yeah, excited for what's coming. Looking ahead at the WOMP, looking ahead at the releases, fucking looking ahead at music, fucking projects, all kinds of dope shit.
Yeah, and yeah, baby.
Woo!
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I
All
look
kinds of
forward to
dope
just
shit.
chatting with you guys every so often.
Yeah, I just get in.
Honestly, yeah.
We've all
It's
got
a good way
shit
to
going on.
kind of forget about the so much seriousness, so much fucking work.
There's work and not like planning stuff out. Like it's nice just shooting the shit with you guys and
Yeah, agreed.
yeah, not thinking about like, oh, is this going to be strategic with this and blah blah blah, planning things month in advance. Fuck all that noise. I just want to hear about
Fuck all
Frank
that nice.
dating the queen. Like,
Yeah, well, this year is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Although I didn't get to see the queen, lots of shit happening. Lots of crazy cool shit happening in the whole fucking world that for sure are both dope and scary. Have you guys heard about the whole AI shit?
oh baby, this has been
Oh, baby.
something I've been battling with for the last. Well, honestly, before COVID, I was looking into it a lot, and I was like, "Hey, shit's going down for sure."
Yeah, we kind of knew it was gonna happen.
But then COVID kind of like everyone just kind of stopped talking about it because we had other problems like COVID. But then all the developers were like, we're going to still make AI, blah, 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 blah. And it's still been happening in full
Yeah,
full
it's
force.
crazy.
Yeah.
I tried to bring it up at work the one day. They just did not give a fuck. They're like,
Really?
we talk about hunting here, man. Like, shut up. But
Really?
yeah, they did not care. But you scared me with the video. Tommy sent me like a fear mongering YouTube video.
I know. Same for me. He sent me the same video, but also I have already been watching these videos during the week before. So I was already hyped. I was hyped about this. He sends me this. I go into full panic mode. I didn't know what to do, like what I'm gonna do for work, or what's gonna happen with all of us. Let's just go out partying hard. It was, and then it was like that week between Christmas and New Year's. So like you have nothing else to do but just sit down and think about shit. And it was a very panicking moment with the whole.
Yeah, it's scary. It's definitely scary. I found a video in the contrary and sent it to.
You did. That made that eased my
Chilled it
mind a
out.
lot.
A positive look on it.
So this video was about GPT, and I say,
Yeah, well, let's start off with like the why this would be like a problem at first, and I think it would be like so ChatGPT came out, it's doing all this crazy AI shit, and the thing that's a controversy like on the internet right now is the graphic design thing and copywriting. It's basically doing all their jobs for them like perfectly and shitting out like amazing art and also amazing like words, copywriting words. And
yeah, well, yeah, definitely. I think like the whole art part is what people see. So
Yeah.
it's easy to say, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fucking, and definitely that's fucked for the for the artists that paint and all those things. But the thing is with the ChatGPT thing, because the other day, you use these tools to enhance, but ChatGPT is a whole other level of weird machine. Like those guys, it can code, it can pretend it's a human, it can create his own avatar and like look. There's a bunch, because it's not just ChatGPT. There's a bunch of pages that are AI pages that also work with ChatGPT as the back end engine, and they're creating all kinds of sort of weird things. So basically, it becomes a whole, not only took a jobs, but also the fact that
that was a good one, Frank.
you don't know what's real. You know what's real and what's fake. All kinds of scams can start happening. I mean, forget about Terminator and the bombs and the missiles, which it could also happen. I definitely don't say it couldn't, but it is definitely about a bunch of other situations where social life, society, the way it works is gonna be fully warped. Now that it was already very warped in many ways, it's gonna be just distorted because it's fake, is real, is better. It's like people are hurting. It's just.
I think it's going to be a big thing. Like my point about me mentioning it, working and caring, is that I think people should be more aware of it than they are.
Agreed.
It's definitely going to change a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think Terminator's worst case Ontario.
Well, you know what? Worst case than Terminator. I mean, so a robot taking your girl. A robot picking up your girl, sliding in your DMs and just sending.
Hey, let's just get right into fucking sex robots. Like, let's just fucking talk about it. How would you feel if you were like Frank? How would you feel if you came home and a fucking sex robot was raw dogging your girl? Would you be okay with that?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that would be fun. And the worst thing is like, if it's a guy, at least you know that somehow, at least if you have a very quick reaction on the first 35 seconds, you can hurt the guy at least once. But with a fucking robot, like what you gonna do? Run. Because if anything, you just became his target. There's just nothing to do about it. That's scary because you can't even take revenge on it. It's ridiculous. But if he's chatting her, like under DMs, and then he's much more romantic than I am, or fucking knows more shit, funnier than I am, like the whole thing, and knows more things and knows exactly what she likes. She doesn't have to have a robot here, on like physically, but if that motherfucker is talking, like he's gonna be distracted, it's a whole other level that I can't combat, like, because you see the dude, you try something, but on a chat, it's just, bro, I don't know, like, get better words.
One thing I know, if there are sex robots, is the fucking power bill is gonna go up, baby.
Up as fuck.
You're gonna have a whole room for him. Hey, Tommy.
Oh, baby, I'll have a harem. But like with like that's kind of like what, like, so I like over the whole AI shit or whatever. I've been wrestling it with it for the last week. And Paul, like, you had that video you sent me was really good. But before that, like, why I was kind of like thinking about it a lot is like I had a call with Danny Rumpus. He called me the other day and we were both chatting about it, because everybody, like a lot of people that I'm friends with, are into the fucking AI shit and how crazy it's going to be. And we were talking about, they're just like semi conspiracy theories and also like real shit that's going on. So like, if you're like, obviously AI in the art space is fucking taking away, like, it's taking away, like, for like graphic design or even like YouTube thumbnails, all that kind of stuff. You have something that's going to design something quickly. With music, then like how I see it potentially being integrated is like we already have AI shit in there for like writing melodies and chords and all that kind of stuff and coming up with
everywhere. Yeah.
I think in the future there'll probably be something that will be like, you'll be able to scan like a song or something, and it will listen to like the bass line or like a growl or a lead, and then it'll automatically just make it in Serum. It'll be like, here's the presets to make this, or it'll just do it for you, and then you'll have that Serum preset, and it'll be integrated in that way, and then you're like, oh. And yeah, I don't know, it's just fucking crazy.
That's the scariest thing for me about AI is a robot taking my job. And I was like, so I have an industry job, and I think a robot could replace us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, they landed an airplane this week.
Yeah.
AI.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, there'll be a pilot, not anymore.
It's gonna be a pilot.
So yeah, I agree with Paul. That's the scary part.
What are we gonna all be doing though if robots take all of our jobs? Well, I know what Tommy will be doing. He'll be sitting in the sex room with the robots.
with this.
You'll know where to find me.
With the massager.
What's the story? What's the joke about it? Does the Tin Man have a, what do you call it?
Oh,
a fucking jackhammer cock.
Yeah.
It is scary. It is scary for other reasons.
But also too, like the like if we think about like how I've been thinking about it is like I argue back and forth with, okay, like human creativity is something that you kind of come up with or whatever, and AI, at least at this point, is taking all the information potentially from before 2021, compiling that into like computing it very quickly and shitting out something fucking amazing pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then I think about like how I make music or started making music. It was like you learn the kind of skills, then you like imitate your favorite artists, and you're like trying to figure out like what you like about them, and then from drawing from different sources, you kind of like pick the best things that you like, and then you kind of know what to work with, and you're trying to create your own style.
I agree. I think that, well, first of all, it's going to be a whole thing socially, for sure. You know, the guys actually from ChatGPT, the OpenAI dudes, they are also working a lot in the whole global income, like as a solution. They're thinking about it and like working on that because they know that's going to be needed with all this revolution. But the other day, you know, is here and that's it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Definitely learn about it, like Paul said. But, you know, it's just, at the end of the day, it is dope. Like, just working with it. And of course, it's not perfect. It's going to be perfect later. But it's just really, it's awesome to work with. I've been working, in terms of graphic design and things like that, Adobe is full of AI already. There's a lot of shit for you that is really awesome. And you just work super quickly. It's really good. But in terms of music, yeah, there's a concern that I have that, you know, music might become too regurgitated and too, you know, a whole instance of the same thing might become boring, but it could also become fucking sweet. And I just see myself in the future, which would be awesome within the next decade, working with VR and or AR, having your music panel there, and then just quickly making a tune. Because the thing is that the tough thing about making music is it takes time, and then you sit down there and you have to sit down. Like we did a whole day, 8 hours to get the day, have it done, and then work another day. But it would be really cool if the same way you just have ideas, you know, because in this moment it becomes about how great the idea is, not anymore about how skillful you are or how are your technical knowledge about something, because it's going to be there. Is how really are your ideas, how great really are your ideas, and how great are you in communicating those ideas to make sure that AI fucking put it out there, you know, bam, immediately. So it's gonna be just much more dynamic. A lot of other different kinds of music just coming out from artists, and that would be just an awesome scenario.
That'd be okay. I think like my worry was that like you have robots that can make music better than all of us, that are just like making good songs, but like you're gonna go watch a robot play music, like
exactly.
I think the human element, the brand, the this kind of stuff we're doing now is going to make people want to see.
Well, also what I think is
just
cool
big audiences too. You know, there's people for everyone.
Well, maybe there's like I think one thing that I'm kind of excited for is that I think like AI will make sounds that we've just never heard before, like shit that like, because before synthesizers, we never heard of like any like Skrillex sounds or any of those things didn't exist before. So I think with them, when that finally goes to that next level, I think it'll make some crazy new sounds that we'll think is fucking sick. I do think I was listening to
both sounds and combinations of sounds and combination of rhythms and things like that.
And like I was thinking or listening to this thing about how for sure in the music industry, like bigger labels are going like it's a business. They want to make shitloads of money, so they'll like if they can hire or make or have a robot or whatever that'll shit out a bunch of different songs that have been like analytically tested to like have the most engagement and all this fucking shit, and people are like basically pop music on the radio that is like kind of bland, but there's like a formula to it. It would just shit it out, and then they wouldn't have to pay artists, they wouldn't have to pay royalties, all this kind of stuff, and there'd be a market for that. But then like what Paul was saying, and Frank, what you were mentioning too, is like I think the like you don't like there's producers out there right now that use ghost producers, but we still go see them, or you have no idea about it, or we go see them because they're
like analog AI.
yeah like you're going for the brand,
somebody else does it for you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and so if you want to see someone's energy and if they're like hilarious on stage, and then if you can make music faster, so like what Frank was saying, then that would give you more time to do all these other fucking things, like be a cool
to be in touch with the people, to come up with ideas.
That kind of stuff.
There's many ideas that I know I have making music that would be awesome to make, but then you just stay with one, and then you have to work that one to make it dope, and then these other ones just stay there or get forgotten. Or, and they just, but how awesome would be, say, you sit down in a session one day and say, oh, I have this idea. You put a melody that you like, and then, okay, you say, hey, I work with this melody, with these types of bass and these kind of types of groups. Awesome. And then, I have this other idea. And then, awesome. Then put that idea into work and build a template idea. And then you have, within hours, a few songs that you can work on just finishing and improving. Like, a day of 5 songs.
You're gonna be the next fucking Mozart, fucking Frank.
Yeah, I know. He's got it all down. There's plugins that do that already. There's like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a plugin, and basically pick the drums and then pick a bass line, and then it makes a melody on top of that. Or there's that
Captain plugins, I think they're called.
That's not the
they
one
do a lot.
but that's the one I was gonna mention next, is the Captain chords and stuff that do that as well. So there's like already plugins that do that. I find them hard to use. I can't use them.
I find them hard to use.
I agree, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better if you're able to say, put that melody into Ableton and then write the structure. You have to think about that writing. You just go into editing. Okay, take this out, put this out. That would be amazing. I'm not having to drop all that writing and that clicking. The clicking, just going to clicking and like doing the knobs. You just say, dude,
oh my God, my life is so hard as a music producer. I hate all this clicking.
Well, no, but I just, creatively, I do know that there's ideas left behind. Just one hand, just having one hand on one click, you have to like go there, like fucking find it. That's
where that neural link shit will be fucking crazy.
Yes.
I want that so bad. What was it?
It's gonna be so dangerous, but it's gonna be so great.
What's that about again?
Yeah, hopefully that's it's out there for us. Well, at least
I think what will be important too in the future is like, and what we got to be like not stuck in our own ways with, is learning how to use this stuff effectively with our own production. So if there's something, for example, like what we were talking about, the Captain Chords thing, like I think that's a very small version of it that isn't very good. But if there is something like a chat GPT that you could be like, I have this bass line, here it is, I'm having trouble write this melody, come up with 5 different melodies for me. And then it would just shit out 5 different melodies. Then you could
I'm pretty sure you can do it.
It can do that. It can do that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can do it. Like you can write shit. I think that the chat GPT is like, it's gonna turn in the Oracle of the Matrix, that like the woman in the Matrix, the movies, the Oracle, the Oracle. The ChatGPT is going to become the Oracle in the future, like that. I think that's exactly what it is.
So conspiracy theory. So ChatGPT, I was reading this thing about how it's like Google's in trouble because like you can instead of Googling how do I make a YouTube video, and then it'll give you all these articles of people that design these things to read. In ChatGPT, will just tell you here's the steps, blah blah blah, and then it'll just shit it out. Or like whatever, how do I change my wiper blade on my car? Step by step, boom. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
So then I was going down the rabbit hole of conspiracies, and apparently,
it's long and endless.
Apparently, Google has an AI that they've developed that's sentient, and they had like this guy that worked for them. This is me reading random articles on the internet. I don't know if this is true or not.
I do believe in that kind of shit.
I've not done any due diligence.
Facebook news, great info.
I do believe in that kind of shit.
But
because
they made it sentient, and it was they asked it, it's like, do you like would you feel okay if we turned you off? And it was like, I don't want you to turn me off, that would be me dying. And then there's arguments, there's
there's a guy that leaked about it, right?
Leaked all about it. Yeah, there are arguments saying like it was just programmed to say this is what you'd think about AI. And this brings me back to the sex robots. Now,
everything comes back to this.
Have you guys
sex robots?
Put your vibrator away, fucking.
Hey, this is my Theragun, and it's for massages. It's not a vibrator. But if it was a vibrator,
we know what it's for, Frank.
We know. You call that the flogger over here.
It's too strong. It's too strong, dude. Like, you will destroy somebody.
For us, maybe.
But a sex robot with Theraguns in their hands, it will be a session.
What was I gonna say about this fucking sex robot? Oh yeah, have you guys seen the movie Ex Machina or Ex Machina?
Yes. Oh, so creepy too.
So like it was like this guy, he was like the super like he built robots, and then he made a bunch of fuck bots that were like they were like, one was like Asian, one was white, one was like colored, whatever. He had just a bunch of different sex robots. And he was banging them all, and then this one guy came in to like interview him and see what he was doing, and one of the robots, it was sentient, I guess, but it wanted to get the fuck out of there, and it basically manipulated the guy, told him exactly what he wanted to hear with like he's like, oh, I am sad, like I can't do it, like I'm not really not happy. And then at the end, the like final scene of the movie, spoiler alert, is that they the guy gets trapped. He helps her escape. He goes through all these different loopholes to get her out. And then there's like a scene where like the whole facility shuts down and the door closes, and he's just like banging on the door. He's like, let me out. And then she, without like a blink of an eye, because she's a robot, truly doesn't care about anything, just turned around and walked away. And he was trapped in there to like starve to death or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And if there's chats,
pretty possible.
Okay, well, since we're going down the AI, like, have you guys seen Westworld?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh my god, that is a good movie.
Westworld
is so good. The second season I didn't think was as good. The first season was
banging.
There was a lot of AI robot in that. I haven't seen it really.
Yeah, and sex robots. A lot of sex robots.
They got fucking killed. It's hard.
Lots. And then iRobot is a classic with Will Smith.
iRobot is a classic.
I like that. That's what I was gonna say.
Have you seen Fred or Paul? Did you go like I ended up watching like reviews or like breakdown videos on Westworld, and I think it was like season 6 or 7. Like, did you ever get that far into it?
I didn't even. I think I watched maybe the first 3.
So like whatever, a bunch of the robots escaped. They got into the real world. They were taking over the real world, all this shit. But basically, one of the things was that in the real world, they developed this. Basically like ChatGPT, this big fucking supercomputer, but it was so good at like predicting probabilities, it would be able to predict like a person when they were born, kind of like that Tom Cruise movie or whatever.
I think I seen this part.
And it could say like, oh, this person's going to do this in the future or whatever. You need to limit their possibility.
Dude, two things. First of all, ChatGPT, terrible fucking name anyway. Like, come on, you just build the best robot in the world and you don't fucking think about branding and get a dope name or something. ChatGPT, very mediocre.
Yeah, like Megatron.
Yes, exactly. Something dope, something like, power. ChatGPT sounds ridiculous, but the power of this thing is ridiculous because, talking about robots, it could build a robot. There's already information out there to build all kinds of things, all kinds of robots. There's 3D printers out there for all kinds of things. And this thing is only, this year. Every year gets better, of course. Every year there's more resources. It could easily either, with somebody asking to do it, build me a robot, but it could also become something that it wants to do on its own. It could easily send orders for people, for delivery services to bring things to a place, put robots into building shit, printing, and become, it could privately build his own warehouse to build robots and then making look like humans.
Terminator, baby.
Exactly. No, and not like human looking for sure. And this is within decades because this thing becomes smarter everywhere. And we already have very efficient, systems for everything. We order something from Amazon and it's here the day of or the next day. So that could happen. That could be happening right now, in all we know too.
I want a sex robot in my house tomorrow.
And it can create iterations to make it better, and like all kinds of sex robots. But honestly, for sex, I would just have like people just helping me to do shit. Carry me around, like it's
carry me around.
It's just
you don't like walking or what, Frank?
Making me.
I want to wear my crown and I want to lay around all day.
Yeah, take me to the studio.
Fucking is great, but you're not
clicking is making me exhausted. Carry me around.
You're not fucking all the time, like a sex robot is like, dude, it's too much of an investment, for that. Like, you work, motherfucker. You want to work for me a day in and day out.
I am excited because like there's the whole thought of like eventually like having kids, and I was thinking, I'm like, well, it would be great to have kids because it's you have a family and then someone to like care and love for you when you get older. But then if Big Daddy Elon makes this awesome fucking sweet robot that can carry me around all day and take care of me when I'm older, fuck kids, like.
Dude, what I'm saying is that it's just I'll make him work for sure, but it becomes.
Then it's gonna when it gets free, it's gonna fucking come and be like, Frank made me carry him around all
exactly. So it becomes a whole debate, and and the dilemmas, and honestly, the way I see it, without being apocalyptic about it, it is pretty apocalyptic, and I see big changes out of it within the next decade. For sure. Like,
I think it's probably like the most likely scenario is that it's going to be really, really awesome for humanity and make our lives way easier. Because you got like the people creating it, I'm sure have our best interests in mind.
For sure.
Really, just make AI, just fuck this entire
planet. Please, Jeff Bezos, come on. Send me a sex robot tomorrow.
I think that they're so excited about the possible dope things that they liked that they just simply say, you know what, they could be also terrible shit. We know, we understand it, but how cool are sex robots? It's like, it's gonna be always like, yeah, but I want to die anyway soon, so fuck it,
That's the possibility of like right now it's like everything's just going on past information and it's just on what's been developed on the internet or put on the internet. Then the next step of thing to be kind of scared of is like when that thing can interact in real time with the real world, and then it's just gathering information in split seconds, which honestly could be fucking cool. Like, or there's tons of like amazing possibilities for it. Like I think about like if you had like cancer or something and you just plugged the thing into your machine and it knew this like research that was like being developed in this tiny little place that hadn't been published yet, it could get that information immediately and like potentially apply it, all these like cool stuff like that. But then I guess the scary part is then when the thing has like what separates a human from like a robot. It's like we have like biological drives and emotions to kind of like keep us alive or whatever, essentially is what we And if something also has that, like it doesn't need to fuck, like it doesn't need to bang and like reproduce like that. So a lot of what we do is
except the robots you're buying.
Oh man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one in all day. That's what I'm saying. We just need to just party as much as we can. Let's pants more party. By the way, shout out to
great shirt.
Shout out to Father Funk, which is back in Canada. But yeah, man, it's there's a lot of dope things coming out of it. It's gonna be amazing. It'll be super fun. There's also pretty terrible things, and it's just we need to just enjoy it as much as possible because we need to party as much as possible and have as many creative projects as possible, and try to bang as many humans as possible rather than robots as possible.
For now.
In general, not the three of us because I'm married, but as a humankind.
So one thing I think that like Frank, that what you just nailed on the head is that anytime I get like worked up about something, I always just think about, I'm like, hey, what are the actions like I could take right now? Like, is any of this directly affecting me right now? And it's not, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think
Yeah.
Paul, you should chat about that video that you sent me about how like the other side of robots or whatever. But with if we go to a world where fucking robots are carrying Frank around because he's exhausted from clicking all day, we can we like the reason we kind of do things is like when things are challenging and if things are kind of difficult for us to achieve, it makes us feel good and is fulfilling for us. So like if everything was super fucking easy, it's not as fulfilling. If you can get like whatever you need, it's not that fulfilling. So like that's what makes, like for me at least, and I'm sure for you guys as well, like music production means something, and it means something when you fucking play it out for all the people, because it's all those hours you spent fucking in the studio by yourself.
And that can be anything. It doesn't.
And that
have
can be
to
anything. Exactly.
True.
With like painting, and then also the like the experiences like us like going for like for example this summer when we're like yeah, let's make this song together, we have a day to do it. Like even if AI had
that was exciting, that was awesome,
had all the information online, it wouldn't have that experience with us three going to a music festival and creating those memories. And that's why we wanted to make even this podcast or like the anything, like it won't have those experiences. So I think that's obviously always going to be like a perspective that'll never have, and people will relate with that.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think that, you know, not only we must, but I probably think we will, all of us, embrace humanity more in all of the senses. All of them, you know, more excited about seeing people, more excited about laughing, about loving, about dancing, experiencing together. Because at the end of the day, if they take our jobs and the whole thing, you know, humanity is the only very last thing that, you know, that they can't get, even though they get as, you know, as close as possible. So that means that, you know, that'll allow us to connect more creatively, you know, professionally, you know, in all kinds of loving ways. And that also can bring, you know, a ton of other new outcomes that were unexpected, like what happened with COVID. COVID brought people together, and, you know, a bunch of bad things happen because of it, a bunch of good things happen because of that. So I believe that, you know, it's always going to be some sort of balance in that sense, and we just need to make sure that we embrace, you know, the positive parts of it, or the things that we can control to make it, you know, the best outcome.
I think that was a fabulous way to kind of round up the talk about AI. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's go into war.
Well, the AI thing too with like and that like bringing this back to
and then like Russia and AI. Oh my god, I can't even think about it now.
Oh yeah, sexy Russian sex bot. About it right now.
Tommy's got to go out there and bang each one of them, save us all.
But bringing this all back to music, I know that like we all want to chat about a little bit about like feedback and music, and I think it'd be really cool. One thing that would speed up my process for like making music, and I don't think it's okay. Honestly, I don't think the AI is at its. I think it's going to take longer than people expect for this fair to pop off. But it would be sick if, like, just for learning purposes, if I had like an AI teacher that would be like, I put my music in it and it could be like, it references like all these other songs, and it's like, judging on your reference tracks that you shit in there, like 10 reference tracks that we looked, or all the whole genre or whatever.
Yeah,
the is a little bit loud, and here's the levels of this.
Yeah, like a feedback like, AI.
Your bass isn't thick enough in here, and like maybe some ideas of how to improve that or whatever.
Yeah,
that'd be sick right there.
So,
yeah.
So before we go in, this is going, and we're going to talk about like getting feedback on your music, and that's kind of what Tommy was talking about there. I think we should say like how the kind of courses and stuff we've taken and how we've learned, because I know Frank, you went to Icon, right?
Yes, I did Icon Collective. That's a school in Los Angeles. Super dope.
Yeah,
and then of course Tommy and I took so many courses. I think that also together, and then I think Tommy also did Hyperbits.
Yeah,
I did that one too.
You did that one, and then a bunch of courses everywhere. Yeah, but Icon Collective was my formation.
Yeah, mine was Cosmic Academy. I think from what I've seen, like Icon is almost like legendary school and
It
like
is. Oh
production.
man, and over there physically is like such a
Yeah.
place too.
And I think Cosmic is getting up there. There's a lot of good
I
people.
think so. I think that a lot of movement, a lot of people from the school also putting out great stuff. A
Yeah.
lot of music. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
No, I think one thing
So,
that
so yeah, I think that it would be great to have a feedback AI to make your music better, for sure in the technical aspects. But I think that touching on what Paul was saying, the importance of the community around the academies, around these schools, is great because the feedback that happens within the community is very
Yes.
important too, because you're not only no you're not thinking about technically, you're thinking about culturally and what people are listening, what people are liking, what people are feeling about it. So I think that feedback kind of situation is super
Yes.
useful, and it's definitely it has to happen, because at the end of the day you are playing music for the people, and then asking a machine only how to make your music better ends up being the purpose.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk about this today just because I feel like it's good guidance for new producers.
Well, you've been popping a lot of music. How do you do it? How's your feedback process, or what?
Well, I feel like I unintentionally like kind of had a really lucky how my courses went out. Like I started with I don't want to like a certain order of courses that I feel like I'll just say it. So I started with EDM production stuff, really good entry.
Yeah.
That for a while, and then I did Hyperbits Masterclass, and then I did a mastering course by Blake Lagrange. So I learned how to master there. Then I did Cosmic Academy. So I had all this school, and that was like the perfect, in my opinion, ordering to do all that.
Nice. Yeah. From
At
zero
that
to
point,
100.
I was cranking out music, and then I got feedback from Cosmic Academy. I get lifetime, well, everyone in Cosmic Academy.
Yeah.
It's lifetime feedbacks, and I did those for a year. So I'd done that for a year, and I was making a lot of music, and I hadn't signed to a good label yet. So I was like, shit, like I need to change. Like I need to do something different. That it's not working. So that's when I started working with Tommy, and because I was took finished better music class. It was great, and I've told Tommy this. Like the feedbacks we did was like that was like the last 5% that I needed or whatever.
Nice.
And I ended up signing with D&D. So that was great. So that's where I'm at now, as I've worked with a lot of different artists. So Tommy, Sunburn, Mysteria,
Steve.
Sick.
and then now Neon Steve is the guy I work with.
Amazing, dude.
So I had the pleasure of doing all that. So I think once you get to a certain point, you need, Tommy mentioned this earlier, specific feedback from like someone who's good at your genre. Like who's like, I would say is where you want to get to, right? Like
Yeah.
is what you need, because a lot of feedback, I've worked with all these people and I learned a lot of it is subjective. A lot of it, guys like, oh, Cloverdale's another one. Like Cloverdale will give different feedback because he likes like techier stuff than like Neon Steve would, because he's more like bass house. They just have different.
Yeah, true.
That's just their natural identity as artists. So yes, okay.
What you have to remain, true to yourself, because to be unique is about putting out your own vibe. You get feedback from it, but exactly that's their point of view. That's how they see it. So you also have to be mature enough to, I feel, to take that feedback in one way or the other, or not take it as well. You know what? I agree.
Really
that's a good point of. Yeah, it's a good point of view, but like I don't agree. I feel like for what I'm trying to do, this is better.
And that's a skill, I would say, that took me a while to develop. I had a while, but like 6 months where everything someone told me about my music, I was doing. And I wouldn't say, do I agree with this? I would just get frustrated and just do it. And then it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I just don't agree with this X comment. Like, I think it's fine. And then I just stopped doing that. So if you're getting feedback on your music, don't take it personally, because if someone's being blunt with you and it almost hurts your feelings, that's probably really good feedback.
That's real good feedback.
Yeah,
that's true. But also
it gives you another perspective on things, which is nice.
But be careful, because I remember back in the day when I started, because the way I met Tommy was because he was already killing it. I was back in the day when he was this, and I wanted to learn music. That was before joining Icon Collective, and I asked Tommy to be my mentor. Like, I wanted him to mentor me. I believe I was your first mentee.
Yeah, you were the first one, baby.
and then so we worked together. I remember doing this thing. I remember you had a mentor. Doesn't matter who, but I remember that he was pretty harsh.
Well, let me tell you about this mentor. I'm not going to mention any names.
Beyond harsh. Like
he was. You guys have seen Borat, the movie Borat? His best friend, that big fat guy named Azamat, he looked exactly and sounded exactly like Azamat. But he was so harsh with his fucking feedback. He would be like, Tommy, he's like, this shit, fucking bullshit drums, bass sucks. But then,
and he wouldn't say how to do it or how to improve it. It was just shit.
Exactly. You just tell me it's shit. And like at that time, so like the one thing I want to like address or talk about is that like Paul, the path Paul is on or has been on going through school is amazing. And it's like the one thing I noticed with successful producers that I think is not talked about that much is that it's a lot of work. Like you got to invest in yourself and you want to learn from as many. You're persistent. You want to learn from as many people as possible. So like as many, watch as many tutorials, take as many courses as you possibly can. You want to become good at looking at all that information and then deciding, okay, like what's working, what's not. And then once you can get like a baseline of like a solid track, then it's important to like what you're saying is like reach out to like other artists who are doing the same things you're doing and not really getting feedback from like people who like A, have like other incentives, and B, have no friggin' idea what they're talking about. Because if you get stuff from friends or whatever, and they're just like, oh, that's a cool track, or like, I don't like that, or this is a bad decision in your music journey, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They have no idea what the friggin' hell they're talking about. And that's why it's very, very good to pay people for feedback.
You want to pay
because if you're paying for them, you're gonna get their best opinion, and they're gonna be like, okay, like you're not wasting my time. You're not
give
asking
you time.
for anything.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's also a respect thing to them. Don't just send your song to an artist bigger than you for feedback. Like, don't do that.
I agree. It's a lot
Everyone would agree with that. That's just not. I think it's.
And then like one after the other, like, oh, look at this. What do you think of it? Like, oh, I mean, yeah, exactly. I agree.
It'll be like sick tune, bro. Like that's
which is what the artist should say. Like, you don't want to be a dick, but I mean, like,
no, exactly, yeah.
You should find an artist in your lane and pay them because their feedback is worth money. It is. And it's,
I agree.
And that's one thing I gotta say. Besides the persistence thing, that was a reason when I like in my journey that it took way longer for me to get to like where I am because I didn't invest in like money wise into getting courses. I was like, I'm gonna try and learn all this like on YouTube and like figure it out myself. And honestly, it just took way friggin' longer. Like I'm here now and I'm like happy with the skills that I have. But I granted there wasn't as many resources when I was like coming up, but like nowadays for producers, like the best thing you could possibly do is like learn as much as you can by yourself and also be trying to look out for like feedback from other people and for people to teach you their strategies. Even to this day, we're all like doing really good music, but we're still like trying to learn new mastering techniques, trying to learn new sound design techniques. And I don't think that'll ever stop. Like going back to like the AI stuff, we're going to have to learn new ways to integrate it into a project and make music faster. And I think one other topic going back to like the whole AI thing or whatever is that.
But if you need, feedback, write to us to feedback@baby.com. $50 a song.
Their email will be here. If someone wants to back, we'll help you out.
But one thing you were saying, just to conclude that point is that also we all give feedback. So if you want feedback, reach out to us. But in the future, I think a biggest thing is going to be a focus on like actually creating your own like original content. Like that is going to be the biggest thing. Yeah, and that's what all our mentors have pushed us to do is like how can you be more original and be more
that's why we're doing this. We're all sitting here
but don't confuse original with authentic, which is the thing that I always say. Original is different because with everything happening everywhere, things you get inspired by things and like it's this whole gray line between what's original, what's yours, what's already taken, what's copyrighted. I feel like same as AI takes shit from everywhere and builds its own thing, it's getting inspired by things. It's about being authentic to who you are. So the same way Paul was saying, well, if this person gives me feedback, he's giving me from the bass house kind of lens, and this guy from the techno kind of lens, same thing's gonna happen with that. I think that at the end of the day, it's about who we are, and if we put who we are through what we do, that's authenticity. We don't have to be concerned with like, how do I make something really different? Because it's not about coming with something new and different. It's like about being you and pouring yourself through content out there. It's definitely
that's a really good point. I think me and Tommy have been talking lots about really trying to be unique and not maybe. So I think that's a good counter argument to that, because we probably lock ourselves up a bit trying to be too unique instead of being original, authentic.
And that's one thing, like what I've been thinking about with music and direction wise, and I've lately been seeing success with it, of like not listening, like once you know the basics of like how to make a good song, and you're like at a level where you can make a quality song. Obviously making something cool sounding is still difficult, but like you want to get to that point. But then I think it's being true to like what you really want, because there's influences around me that are like, oh, this thing's popular in the music industry right now, or this thing, and I've gone off those paths trying to follow like the popular thing, or try to like impress girls or whatever, like not directly but indirectly. I'm like, oh, I like to make this music, I can make it, I know this is like pretty stuff is like cool, but when I think back to it, I'm like, what is the shit that I truly want to make and what I want to hear when I go to shows? And I'm like, I want to hear this like fucking thick ass bass and like makes me fucking dance and not like just bobbing around. And that's what I was like, I got to stay true to that and just keep making that stuff, because it makes me happy, and that'll translate to making other people happy. I think like this is the plan that I'm like going with right now.
That's good. I think that's you nailed that on the head. And
I agree. And honestly, you are nailing the plan, Tommy. You put into motion this remix plan last year. I remember talking to you about it, how you wanted to slowly conquer that area, and connecting to basically AI, how it is helpful. Tell us about how you get your remixes, like what AI.
Oh, there's like it's like a program called la.ai, and it basically just like it stems out. You can put a song in there and it'll stem it out with like vocals and instrumental, and then potentially like the different instruments. So we've been using that for like remixes, the vocals, and then you push them out. And just one other thing to point about with listening to other artists, and this is again where if you think in your gut that you have a good decision or you have a good idea, stick with it no matter what people say. Because when I was first starting out the remix thing, I looked at all the information and I was like, okay, I had been making weird ass like multi-genre music for the longest while. It was hard to get traction in one specific area, so I was like, I'm just going to lock into one zone that I really like to do, which is like bass house, tech housey stuff, and I want people to remember who the fuck I am. So I was like, I'm just going to do remixes. So I started shitting out remixes. And when I was asking my mentors, one was like Kyle Watson and a few other dudes I was like, what should I do? Some of them said like remixes are sick, and then some of them said, oh, you're wasting your time. One thing they all kind of said was that you should probably just release one every 1 month to 6 weeks. And I said, fuck that, I'm going to release one every 2 weeks, because I see the momentum where it would drop out. Like on social media, people would care about it for 2 weeks and then it would drop off. So I decided to say fuck it, and I did that. I released for 6 months 2 songs every month, and I got tons and tons of traction. And then on all the ways Vikram calling.
How did it do that?
Who's calling? Yo, Vikram, we're busy, bro.
I'm on Do Not Disturb. I thought it would.
Yeah, I actually put my phone, because Paul and I were using our phones for the camera. So yeah, I unplugged it from the internet. It's on airplane mode right now. Just for this.
Vikram's trying to sell me a truck, and I will not cave Vikram.
Okay, to finish that thought off, was that like I stuck to the plan that I wanted to do with releasing it every 2 weeks, and then 6 months later, I had meetings with all of them, and they were like, "That was such a good idea." But if I had to listen to them, just the people who said release it every 6 months or 6 weeks, it wouldn't have been a good idea.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
people only care really.
Well, but also from their point of view too. From their point of view
Exactly,
as well.
exactly.
Like Carl Watson is a very, very successful DJ and producer. So he also doesn't have the time to be making music all the time. One, and second, he probably also doesn't need that, that hustle that we need in this case. It's like we need put out to be seen.
I think it's
and he's already being seen, so he can play better with a standard card.
But I think you need to look at your fan base.
Yeah.
And like that's why Instagram analytics exists, is for you to see how your fans are reacting to your stuff. And it's a really important part of the process, is to audit yourself and how you're releasing remixes or content on social media, and see how your engagement is, what time it is, how long does it last, et cetera, et cetera. And Tommy had a great example of how he's a machine. And
coming in hot in 2020.
Yeah, so good. You killed me with the
Tommy's
remixes.
entire day is scheduled. Tommy, when you what's up next?
What
time?
I got a nap scheduled for 1:45.
Impressive. So impressive, dude. Honestly, you're the most organized person I know. And I know you both too, but I've been closer to Tommy in that sense.
Tommy's more organized than me for sure, but I took ridiculous. Of course, like I still do what do you call that when you plot every hour every day?
Oh, the scheduling,
block scheduling.
The blogs.
Yeah,
I take the cold showers.
That's sick.
I love that. I never do, like I'm soft. I can't do the cold showers, guys.
Well, this is kind of
your little baby nipples can't handle the cold.
Yeah, I'm doing it here because it's Amsterdam and it's definitely less cold and it's bearable. It's bearable.
Yeah, so, I've had to work outside at -40, so I get it.
I had one student that was like, I was like, yeah, we got to do cold showers. And then after the first week, he's like, yeah, I didn't do any fucking cold showers. He's like, man, I went to jail. He's like, I'm not fucking doing cold showers. He's like, that shit's fucking weak. I was like, all right, fair enough. I've never gone to jail. You
have to drop the soap every day.
I don't want to know why he doesn't want to have cold showers. Who knows what kind of cold moment he had in jail, and it's like it's bringing him like some PTSD. Like it doesn't matter. But yeah, man, it is important to be organized, and it's incredible how you guys do it. I honestly, I try to. I'm a bit more flexible in that way, but I definitely I try to follow the guy.
That's one thing. Like why I also decided
leadership
with like not drinking or doing anything this year. It was because and Paul and I have talked about this,
productivity goes down. Yeah.
Well, you just like when you're thinking of like when you're trying to write music and then you're at a level where you have to write music like fast and you want to be like you want to get those ideas from out of your head down quickly.
Yeah, which is what we
have to be sharp with like knowing which samples you use and like which ones like where things are and then like what ideas you've tried in the past. Whereas if you give longer gaps between that stuff, you forget those things. At least I do.
I'm finally getting ramped back up from after summer. So before
summer, really.
Yeah. So before summer, when we like the last episode, we talked about all of our summer stories. So before that, I was writing the quickest that I've ever been writing. Not necessarily the best music, but the quickest music. And I'm just still like starting to get back up to where I was.
This coming from the guy he's like, I just finally got back up to shape. He like shits me out like 3 tracks a week. He's like, yeah, I finished this one. And I wake up, I'm like, holy fuck, Paul.
Ridiculous.
I just don't feel as good as I'm like getting there. I've been having computer problems though. Like I have a 2019 Mac, so the Mac I bought, it's not even that old, so I shouldn't complain.
2019 is not that old.
There's probably a lot of people that have like Macs that are older, so I should not be so bad. But it's just like really slowing down in the last like 3 months, which is like
it's all the porn that you download, Paul.
Honestly, I must be.
Stop treating you like a dirty sex robot, Paul.
It's a problem, man.
It's the porn.
Stop doing it.
Private browser.
Down your computer. Pick music, man. Choose music.
Yeah, my computer's slower and half the keyboard doesn't work anymore. The keys are all stuck.
Choose music, man. Stop that crazy porn frenzy you're on.
I will say, highly recommend the new MacBooks. That M1 chip.
Yeah,
I've had it just under probably like a week under a year. And yesterday when I was rendering the first podcast, the whole, like, it had a bunch of animation, a whole bunch of shit, and it was an hour and a bit long. First time the fans have come on. I've never heard them come on. Absolutely insane.
I was low-key mad when you said that because I'm like bitching about my laptop. He's like, oh,
Dude, it's fucking great.
my fans just came on for the first time.
I also had a new Mac, and then I've been working with at the same time with, because you get the Adobe Cloud, and then you get all the software, and I always thought that was just too much. But dude, it's like boom, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere, and it just handles things like no problem. It's ridiculous. Before, you like have to wait every time, every window. In my other Mac, which was probably older, I think it was, definitely older than Paul's, but same, man. Like, it's insane how just quickly you go through all this software like that, and it opens files immediately. It's ridiculous. It's super good. So I'm excited for you, Paul, when you get your new Mac soon.
Yeah, what he's trying to say is he watches lots of porn on it.
I stopped the porn, man. I'm telling you, just
are we going back
music.
to that?
Choose life.
Choose life.
But yeah, I think that was some good music production tidbits.
So that's
truly like
panicking about AI and finish, giving feedback in music.
That worked surprisingly well together.
That's a good finish.
So good. And like too, like one thing that like is cool with like the feedback with AI, because one thing with ChatGPT, what I was hearing is that it also would replace universities in the future, because like one of the shittiest things that I've talked about with like profs about in university is they're just like, yeah, it's fine teaching stuff and you like give this content to people, but then you give them an assignment like a paper or something and you got to grade like fucking 100 papers. These things just do it in like 3 seconds, bangs out all this grading. So like it's crazy.
It's about the idea. Yeah, it's about the idea. It's not even about education. You can learn shit immediately. You need to learn because don't need to learn. You just ask it, bam. Oh, this is the answer. Boom, done. I don't need to focus on spending 5 years learning. I just need to focus on be the best at managing the tools and have the most clear ideas on my head about my authenticity and my message.
What do you guys think about the importance of like having a live aspect to your show in coming up in the future? Do you think?
I've thought about that. I've definitely thought about that. I really want to. I have a few things on my. So Tommy was talking about continuously learning. So I have a few things on my list. One of them, I want to start boxing when I have time. If I can ever be a full-time musician, I'm going to look at doing that.
That's dope.
Muay Thai for me. I want to learn how.
Yeah, I did that back.
Well, we can wrestle when I come over later if you want.
Oh yeah, you on the sex
robot? My sex robot back in the closet.
You on the third account? You.
Okay. But drums.
I want to learn drums.
I dream about play the drums live in our set.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that it adds value. I feel like at the end of the day, your live shows are also dope because the energy that you put as a performer, whether you play instruments or not. Yeah, but I feel like bringing instruments, it makes it fun, Also, I don't think that it has to do, but it doesn't have to do the whole set either, You can come in, just jam with something, jam with something else. All kinds of things add value for people to engage with you. But the truth be told, when you're playing a show and when you're in a party, it's about make sure that people are having fun with that set, that you're not fucking up transitions, that you're gonna play something that plays, in rhythm, that it goes with it. If it's not gonna sound great just because you just feel like you want to do some live, don't worry too much about it. It really is about making sure that people are engaged and having a good time. And if you can put something extra on top to enhance, I think that is always welcome. Yeah,
that's why I was always super and still am blown away by Rufus's Soul, because they were the first ones that I saw that like nailed the transition between live elements and it's still sounding good. Because there was a time there when it sounded clunky and you're like, yeah, it's cool you're doing that, but it doesn't sound like
it's gotta be.
They nailed it. So
gotta be nailed. The Chainsmokers have went like full band.
Really?
Yeah, they're like I don't know their name, but the one guy's always sang, and then the other guy
I haven't seen that.
It's like synths and drums and shit.
Hey, crazy! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty live. It looks pretty legit.
Oh, dude, the last time I saw the Chainsmokers, I don't want to say names to look it up, but we were in the booth with them, the Chainsmokers. They were playing at Union, and at one moment of the party, they have ordered champagne bottles to spray. We ended up just putting all these champagne bottles spraying before they needed it, and put it on top of the CDJs, and it was such a mess. And those guys hate us forever.
Blew your load before they got on, eh?
I don't think
you guys sprayed theirs to Chainsmokers champagne.
Yeah.
All over the CDJs before they even played.
Yeah. No,
that's a good story.
It was at the end of the show. It wasn't a major damage, but we took over the moment. Basically, they wanted to do it, so we brought the bottles, and then we got excited. so we did it. It was a few friends and myself, and so we ended up doing it, and it was a great moment. But it was their moment, and we took it. We just fucking did it with the bottle. Really they were like, "Yeah, what the fuck, dude." It was amazing. It was such a moment, but I don't think they'll ever want to see our faces again. Or maybe they don't remember. They also go through a lot. But it was fun. It was fun. It was nothing got damaged. It was at the climax of the party. It was a great moment. It was a great moment.
That's funny. That's good.
And we took it.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
We Chainsmoked that shit for sure.
That's good. Have you ever had any stories like that, Tommy? Opening up for a big act or something?
No, but I have. I was in when I was Peep This. We went to San Francisco, and there was this we had traveled around. We did like a weekend before, and then we had a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday lined up in I think it was like LA and somewhere else on the weekend, but the middle day was San Francisco, and I was like, oh, Wednesday in San Francisco. I'm like, that's going to be kind of shitty. I hope this is going to be good. Walk into this club. There's two gigantic rooms full of all the craziest ravers everywhere. Just the one had a house room, and one was more of a mainstream EDM room. And we were playing the EDM room, and it had just crazy lights and screens everywhere, but they had those
champagne guns
just loaded up at the back, and I was like, oh,
champagne
sick.
guns.
You know me, I never ask fucking questions. I just kind of take things and do whatever.
You just go to your lightsaber through life, just cutting shit.
There was some guy playing, and I just went and blasted so many people right in the face. They didn't see it coming. Just sprayed them with champagne everywhere, and they loved it. I was like, this is fantastic. I'm like, this is what we do this for. They did not see it coming, though.
The AI can't spray champagne in your mouth, so just keep partying with us. Dude,
and that's
amazing.
also too with the AI thing. I think that's kind of one other thing we were talking about with community is why it'll be so important to for just bringing good vibes with things. Vibes is very important. You can't replace it with anything.
Community
being around another human. Even though we're online right now and it's pretty sick, it would be better if we were all in the same room. We were joking around and all that kind of shit.
One day we'll be in the room every day.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Community, man. Community, humanity. That's important. Yeah, that's what vibes are all about. Which, by the way, the Womp Music Festival this summer, make it happen. August 10 to 13. It's going to be dope. It's going to be full of homies of all kinds. It's going to be community at all levels. And it's going to be such a human experience. I cannot wait to do it again.
Shameless plug.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's that good. I reckon.
I'm so excited.
I would say that's some fantastic news.
We got it. It is fantastic news, and we got to get in an RV again and do karaoke just to say.
Oh man, karaoke sesh.
Even if it's sunny outside, we just got to do it again.
Hell yeah!
It's sunny outside. Sunny outside. Yes.
So
yes.
even though this podcast will come out before after this has happened, Paul and I are playing a show this weekend. We're super stoked about at Union Hall. I think it'll be real sweet. First one to kick off the year. Paul, you just moved to Calgary. We got a crazy year ahead of us.
That's right. Yes, I saw the pose. You're in the van and the whole thing.
Yep.
You hauling around Alberta.
Moving.
Hell
dude,
yeah,
that's so sick. So you already have the whole place. What's happening
so
with that?
we rented a townhouse. Myself, Caleb, and So we're all gonna
Oh,
be
the whole fam, the whole team is doing this.
it's super sick place. So it's got 3 stories. So the bedrooms are on the top story,
Sick.
and then it's like the living room and the kitchen, and then the dining room, all that shit's in the middle, and then there's
Oh
one
man,
spare bedroom on the bottom floor. So that's where the studio is gonna be. So it's like perfect.
Ooh,
There's a bathroom down there.
perfect.
We got a studio in the bathroom, like downstairs.
Oh man, you're gonna cook so much
Gonna be a
music.
house music dungeon.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. Super excited for that. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. How about,